Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chuck Frederick, owner slash administrator of Helping Hands Residential Care Home. If you want to know 3 ways to go about hiring your staff for your assisted living facility, make sure you tap into this video. All right, so hiring your staff for your ALF can be very overwhelming. Just give you a disclaimer, I have no prior knowledge or experience in hiring or firing or training or anything of that nature. So everything I've done is through trial and error, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'm going to tell you my experience and how it worked for me. Okay. So how I first started, I went through a staffing agency. I thought it was going to be, I want to be the CEO. I want to hire everything out, let somebody else deal with it. It'll be their problem. They told me, yeah, if somebody can't make it, they'll make sure there's somebody's there. If they have to accommodate anyone's schedule, they'll take care of it. I won't get any calls. They don't have anything to worry about. So I was like, okay, cool. I pay them this amount. They make a certain percentage over that. They split it with the staff and everything works, right? Perfect. Boom. So this is how it went. When I got my first residence, we scheduled the move-in date, talked to the staffing agency. They said we'll have somebody there. I don't get anyone at the facility until like the day before. So this is my first residence. We got to do some grocery shopping. We got to make sure the facility is all set, ready to go. And they have experience at working as a caretaker, working as a CNA, but they don't have experience at working in my facility. And I don't even have experience yet at working in my facility. So we have policies and procedures, but you want to implement those strategies and those tactics and those standard procedures when it's time to implement them. So we get the residents, they come in, bam, we have the first lady there. She's great. She's there for the first 5 days, no problems at all. As we get closer to the weekend, the weekday person, she's saying, hey, I gotta leave Friday morning. Who's gonna relieve me? So I'm calling the staffing agency, like, hey, what's going on? Do you have anyone coming? They're like, we did, but the person we're gonna have come, they're not able to make it anymore. So don't worry, we'll have someone else there. By that Friday morning, finally located somebody, got somebody that's willing to come in. Great. I stay there with her before the first lady leaves. She kind of trains her, quick training. Hey, this is what we do. This is how I do it. This was going on. Showing the full facility, everything good. I ended up staying the day shift with her, to make sure she's good. She don't have any questions. She has everything she needs. I go home, talk to the Lord about it. Felt a little easy. Long story short, I coach youth football on Saturdays. Got a call from the family, didn't like her, had an attitude. Things just didn't work out. She ended up having to be replaced by somebody else that night. So just to relieve the family. And then the family ended up moving their father out of the facility. Total embarrassment, to say the least. I take full responsibility. And I think the number one thing you want to do is make sure that you're involved in that process. So for me, staffing agency didn't work because you didn't get the time to properly vet these women. They just pick up an assignment. It's like a substitute teacher. So they just pop in, they sit in the classroom, and whatever the kids do, that's on them. They don't know how the teacher runs the classroom. They don't know what the processes is. They may follow the notes instruction that the teacher leave, or they may not. They're just getting paid to be there. So that's what my experience was like working with a staffing agency. Now, sometimes they do long-term placement, but that just didn't work. That's my experience. I'm not sure the difference in all of that. That's what I thought it was going to be, but didn't work for me. Next thing, Indeed. Made an ad on Indeed. Back at square one. Okay, cool. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. Going through my interview process, and Indeed was good. I got a lot of, applicants, a lot of candidates. Resumes great, but then when you go to look at the resumes, it's like in the last year they've been 6 places. In the last 2 years they've been 8 places. So it's like they're hopping around. And this is just my experience. They're like, how much you gonna make? Nah, thank you for the offer. No, thank you. And it's just most of the Indeed applicants that I received, the number one concern was we need to make this amount of money. How much you're gonna make? This is my schedule. Can you work around my schedule? So it was like it worked, but it didn't. It's a lot more people to deal with. It's a lot more applicants. It's a lot more headache. I interview in person. I did a lot of phone interviews, but in person interviews, I probably interviewed at least 15 people. And out of all those 15 people, I only kept one person from Indeed. Only one out of 15. So that didn't work for me. Maybe it worked for somebody else. Maybe if you're like the highest paying in the area, you can get better quality candidates, and you can be more selective with who you choose from there. That wasn't my experience. I tried to be right in par with the rest of the market as far as pay. And then, we can grow as the facility grow, as, your experience grows in the company. So that's how I try to structure it. That's my experience as an employee as well. But Indeed didn't work for me. So number three, and what I prefer and what has worked for me over my time as an administrator and owner is referrals. You know, referrals is the number one way for me, and some of the people that mentor me or talk to me about being in the business is getting someone that is reputable in the area, that other owners know, that may have had to take time away and had to step away from the job at the time, and then that owner had to replace them, but then when they came back they weren't able to take them back, so now they're available, or they moved away and moved back, or it's whatever the situation may be. It's someone that you can actually call and pick up and say, hey, I got a job available, do you know anyone? Oh yes, I know someone. She's been working with me for a few years, or this other facility over here, they have an extra employee because they're starting to work because their numbers are down, so they have someone that needs work. So being able to be in a network of other administrators in your area and be able to call on those people, or I even made a Facebook post. I had someone that worked for me for almost a year from a Facebook post, and I was struggling with Indeed. I was struggling with the staffing agency, and we made a post on Facebook that said, hey, got a facility in Port St. Lucie. Anybody know anyone that's interested? And someone that went to school with my girl, they reached out to her. It was her aunt or somebody, and she reached out to me. Great person. So that has been my experience. That's the best way for me, and that's what has been working. And both of the women I have now were referrals. Great. And then I have a third person from Indeed that's part-time. She pushes in as needed. She's good as well. But both of my full-time ladies, amazing, and they both were referred to me by other facility owners. So Indeed, if it works for you, staffing agency, if it works for you, if you want to be hand off, if you think that's the best way, let somebody else come in, orchestrate it. You focus on the administrative tasks, and they focus on bringing in the employees. Maybe it can be a better experience, but it wasn't for me. But referrals, and that's everything in business. So I got other videos on administrative stuff, ALF things, all things real estate. Make sure you click the link below if you're interested in learning more about real estate. Again, I'm Chuck Frederick, owner/administrator, Helping Hands Residential Care Home. Make sure you check into our next videos. Thanks for watching.